Welcome to Magenta Otter Travels. We're in the kitchen today because it is a very chilly winter day in North Texas. In fact, as I'm filming, it is literally freezing rain outside. And so what is the perfect thing on a day like today? A mug of tea. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how to make the perfect cup of tea. Let me be clear. I love the United States of America. I love Americans. In fact, most of my favorite people are Americans. But when it comes to tea, we do a lot of things wrong. And I'm not afraid to say it. I'm here today to talk about the no-nos we should be avoiding, go through a step-by-step process of how to make a proper cup of tea, and at the end, I will do a bonus and tell you how to descale a tea kettle. So let's get started with the no-nos. These are some things that we do wrong, particularly here in the US. First of all, no microwave. If you are making your tea, and this is particularly true for those of us who make herb tea, or as they say in the UK, herbal tea, we have a bad habit of attempting to make tea in the microwave. We put water in a mug, we put it in the microwave, and we set it for however long, and oh, the water's hot, I've just made tea. No, you've made really warm, kind of swampy water that tastes like plants. That is not a proper cup of tea. So if you are doing that, please stop. I implore you, please stop using a microwave to make a cup of tea, because it's a big difference when you make it the right way. I grew up in Illinois enduring very cold winters, and we drank a lot of herb tea, and we did make it in the microwave. And one day I had a cup of tea where it was made with true full boiling water, and the same tea, the same raspberry zinger tea I'd been drinking for years, tasted completely different. Because when the tea is made with full rolling boiling water poured over the tea, it releases different flavors than when it's just dunked in kind of hot water, which is the second no-no, no dunking. It always drives me crazy when I'm on a plane, and of course, flying to England, you see this a lot. People will ask for hot tea. And so the flight attendant will go back to the galley and bring them back a little cup with some hot water in it and hand them that cup along with a tea bag. Oh my heavens, you cannot take a kind of warm cup of water and dunk tea in it and think you're having a proper cup of tea. Again, that's just warm, swampy water. That is not a proper cup of tea. Which also leads to the next point, no styrofoams. Styrofoam cups are just a huge no-no. Not only are they bad for the planet, but they also ruin the taste of the tea. So please, no styrofoam cups. Get a ceramic mug or a china teacup, and that's what you need to be making your tea in. The last no-no is no old water. So if you have a tea kettle and you put a bunch of water in it, you boil it, you make some tea, there's some water left over in it, do not be tempted to just heat that water up again, because the oxygen has been depleted from the water when it was boiled the first time, and then when you boil it the second time, it depletes it even more, and it just does not taste the same. You need fresh water, so take that extra step. And in fact, it will taste better and be better on your tea kettle if you use filtered water or distilled water when you're making your tea. All right, so now let's talk about the step-by-step of how to make a proper cup of tea. First, what are you gonna make the tea in? I strongly recommend an electric tea kettle. So they're really convenient because you just plug in the base, put your water in your kettle, set it on the base, and then flip the little lever. Now, we already know that microwave, bad idea for heating the water. Electric tea kettles are a funny thing because virtually every household in the UK will have an electric tea kettle. It's just like a mainstay. It's like having a toaster. Everyone has one. Whereas here in the US, they're more of a novelty. Although as I've given friends and family members tea kettles, they've learned that once you have one, you discover how awesome it is. And then you realize you need one to live as well. So if you haven't tried an electric tea kettle, I strongly encourage it. And I just bought a new one. I will show you the comparison of, this is my old tea kettle. The inside looks different versus the inside of the new one. So I will insert the little video here that shows the insides. In the old tea kettle, there's kind of this heating coil that heats up the water. And in the new tea kettle, it's a flat metal bottom that heats it up more evenly and a little bit faster. So I bought this fancy new tea kettle, which was really not that expensive. I'm including a link in the description below so that you can check it out yourself in case you are inspired to buy one. And it's really cool. It heats the water up fast, and then we can pour it over our tea. So let's talk about our tea. You can use loose tea, or you can use a tea bag. This is a fancy variety pack of all different kinds of herb teas in bags with a string, or you can use the kind of bag tea that Celestial Seasonings does that has no string or tag. We love these. This is our new favorite. It is a citrus sunrise. True blueberry is really delicious, but they stopped selling it at my store, which we're really sad about. And then this is like the best herbal tea. Super favorite. I have not been able to find it in any stores here in the US, but it's widely available in the UK and inexpensive. It is available on Amazon, or if you live in the UK, amazon.co.uk. I'm including links to this tea in case you want to try it out, just because it's a special treat. It's Twining's Mango and Strawberry. So the tea is starting to boil. The water is starting to boil, which is great, but we want it to come to a full rolling boil before we pour it over our tea bag so that it will make just the perfect cup of tea. If you are using a teapot and even loose leaf tea, you would pour the boiling water over the loose tea in a strainer into the teapot. That's good for if you are going to be drinking multiple cups of tea, or you are serving several people and you want to keep it in a teapot to steep. I am a minimalist, so I don't like having the extra teapot, so I just make the tea one mug at a time with the bags. Loose tea is honestly just too fussy and messy. The next question is, how long do you steep the tea? Conventional wisdom is it takes 3 to 5 minutes. And if you are having black tea, Earl Grey, English breakfast kind of tea, you might want to cover the tea while it's steeping to keep it really hot, because most Brits drink their tea with milk in it. So if you're going to be putting in milk and diluting it and also cooling it down, it'd be good to keep it really, really hot. I don't bother covering it because I'm drinking herb tea, and during the time that it's steeping, it's cooling down to more of a drinkable temperature. Speaking of time, let's talk about how long it took for the water to boil. I decided to nerd out this afternoon, and I did an experiment with my old and new tea kettle side by side. I put 3 cups of filtered water into each of them, turned them on at the same time, and timed how long it took for those 3 cups of water to come to a boil and a full boil. It came to a boil by 3 minutes, and then by 3.5 it was a full, really rolling boil. The new tea kettle, because of the different heating element, did heat a little bit faster. And for those of you who are still not convinced about the microwave thing, I also put 3 cups of water in my microwave to see how long that would take to get to a boil or a full boil. It was like 6.5 minutes. And that's to get to a boil. It never came to a full boil. So just know it takes a lot longer to get a decent amount of water to come to a boil in the microwave. So please, if I haven't already convinced you, please stop making your tea using the microwave. My tea should be ready now. Just give your tea bag a little squeeze to get the extra yumminess out of it, and then sweeten it. If you have a sore throat, nothing better than using honey to sweeten your tea. You can use sugar. You can be a little bit naughty like me and use artificial sweetener. I'm not encouraging that, but that's how I roll. And here we have a perfect cup of tea. Delicious. Oh, and you might notice I'm not using a magenta mug or an otter mug. I do have an awesome otter mug, but the reason why I used this cardinal red mug today is because British researchers found that when you make tea in a red mug, it tastes sweeter. I don't know how that's true, but apparently it's what science says. So now for our bonus, how to descale a tea kettle. When you use a tea kettle for a long time, you will see a buildup of limescale in the bottom of the tea kettle. There are descaling products that you can buy. Of course, in the UK, where everybody has tea kettles, those are very common to find in the store. I don't think they're as common to find here in the US, but I also prefer to not use those chemical products because there's regular household kitchen items that you can use for descaling, like white vinegar or vitamin C crystals. Now, this might not be a kitchen staple for you, but the reason why I use the vitamin C powder is it's vitamin C, ascorbic acid. So it is not going to taste bad, it's not going to be bad for you, it's not going to smell bad. A lot of the fruit teas have vitamin C in them anyway, so it seems just very compatible to me. And so I don't really want the vinegary smell, so I opt for the vitamin C powder. It is a little bit expensive, but a bottle of it lasts like for years and years and years. So for a decade's worth of tea kettle descaling, go ahead and get a bottle of vitamin C powder if you'd like. And I also am including a link down below of how you can get that. And lastly, I have also provided a link for full instructions on how to do the tea kettle descaling. But for all the step-by-step instructions, check out my link below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope that you found this helpful, inspiring. Go make yourself a cup of tea, and please comment below on how you like your tea, what your favorite kind of tea is, and how you feel about the whole kettle versus microwave, loose tea versus tea bag, all that fun stuff. Thanks so much for watching, and do something good in the world today.